Right, today I'm brewing up a New Zealand Pilsner. So essentially New Zealand Pilsner is a more hop forward Pilsner, obviously using New Zealand hops. So I'm brewing this for two reasons. One is because I particularly like that style, kind of, really nice, light, crisp, lagery type drink, and that is also hop forward. And the other reason is because I wanted to try out these Nectaron hops. So these are a fairly new hop from New Zealand. Everybody's kind of raving about them at the moment. Very tropical, intense tropical aromas that you get from them. These are this year's harvest, so these hopefully should be absolutely banging. So what I'm doing is, well, essentially a smash beer, because this is 100% Pils malt. I'm using crisp Pilsen malt, 3.4 EBC, and this is actually an 11-litre batch, so I guess what you could consider a half-size regular batch. So this is 11 litres. I'm using 2.5 kilograms of the Pilsner malt, and I've got 100 grams of Nectaron hops. So the actual style guide for the New Zealand Pilsner is, well, the description is a pale, dry golden coloured, cleanly fermented beer showcasing the characteristic tropical, citrusy, fruity, grassy New Zealand type hops. So appearance, straw to deep gold in colour. Well, obviously I should be getting that just based purely on the Pilsner malt. Generally quite clear to brilliant clarity. Haziness is a fault. Creamy, long-lasting white head. So that's kind of one of the reasons I just wanted to go 100% Pilsner malt. So hopefully I should be bang on with the clarity. Now it is obviously a Pilsner, so theoretically it should be brewed with a proper lager yeast, but the characteristic ingredients on the BJCP website do say that it can be brewed with a clean lager yeast or a very neutral ale yeast. So I'm taking that as a thumbs up for the use of my common ale yeast. So I've got this Kentucky yeast from Cross My Loof, which is a common ale yeast. It says it is suitable for commons, kolsch and cream ale. So it should actually ferment out really nice and clear, clean I should say, no esters or anything, and really allow those hops to characterise this beer. So ideally probably I may have gone with the Nova Lager yeast for this, but I didn't get it in time, so I had this in stock. This seems like a pretty decent yeast to use on this. The temperature range for this is 13 to 22, so it's quite a broad range. So what I might do with this is ferment it at the lower end, just to make sure I get as clean fermentation as possible. So I'll probably head for about 16, 17 degrees, maybe, yeah, probably 17 degrees, and let that fly for 10 days. Ramp it up to 20, 22 maybe for a diacetyl rest, and then dry hop it. So as I say, I've got 2.5 kilograms of Pilsner malt. That's already been mashed actually, so I got up early this morning, I've got it all sorted. My mash is done, I'm now bringing it up to the boil. So I mashed at 66 degrees for 1 hour. Very straightforward mash. I'm using reverse osmosis water, which I collected yesterday, and I've actually used a water profile that after watching Dude's Brew's video on New Zealand Pilsner, I'm using the same water profile that he recommended on there, which I think was for his award-winning New Zealand Pilsner. So it must be pretty good, which is basically for this 1.5 grams of calcium chloride, 1.5 grams of gypsum, 1.5 mils of, well, I'm using CRS acid solution, and a little bit of sodium metabisulfite. So very, very straightforward brew. What else is there to say about this? Oh yeah, the hop schedule. So I'm going for 10 grams of Nectaron. These are pretty high alpha acid hops, so these are 11.5% alpha acid. So I'm going for 10 grams of these Nectaron hops at 30 minutes. I'm going for 10 grams at 10 minutes before the end of the boil, which is going to give me 32 IBUs altogether. And then I'm going to do a hop stand with 40 grams of Nectaron at 80 degrees for 10 minutes, and that's going to give me a further 9 IBUs. So yeah, so as I said, I'm heading to the higher end of that bitterness scale. From the videos I've watched online of people brewing these, pretty much everyone said is it really needs that kind of assertive bitterness. The top end of that scale to work the best. And I'm also putting a dry hop addition of 40 grams after approximately 10 days. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be very hoppy, or probably the more hoppy end of what you'd expect for a New Zealand Pilsner, but that's my personal preference. You might want to kind of scale that down, scale the dry hop down, maybe scale the hop stand down a bit if you want it less hoppy and a bit more subtle. But okay, so we're boiling. I'm just about to go into my first hop addition, which is the 10 grams of Nectaron. So I'm going to chuck this in, set the timer for 20 minutes, and that's when my next one will be going in. Okay, ready for my second hop addition. There goes the beeper. So as you can see, I've got my chiller in there as well. So that's been sanitizing for about 5 minutes. So that gets in there for the last 15 minutes. So this is now going in. This is my 10 minutes to the end addition. So another 10 grams plus a little bit of Well-Flock tablet as well. And that's all good. Right, so set the timer for another 10 minutes and then I start cooling down. Third and final hop addition is in. It's just the hop stand, so I've reduced the temperature down to 80 odd degrees and just put in my my hop stand hops. So I'm going to leave this for 10 minutes now to steep, cool it right down, and then transfer it to the fermenter. To the tasting. So here it is, New Zealand Pilsner Nectaron hops. So this is bottle conditioned, obviously. This has been in the bottle for probably about 4 or 5 weeks now, in a cold shed, sort of cold conditioning. Let's crack it open, see what it's like. Right, I've got my most Pilsnery-like glass that I could find. Right, there we go. So beautiful pale straw colour coming from that Pilsner malt. So pure Pilsner malt, sorry, and 100% Nectaron hops. So a smash beer, as I said at the start. Nice carbonation. I think it was about a teaspoon of sugar I had in that bottle. As you can see, very nice head. So considering there's only Pilsner malt in here and no kind of carrot peels or wheat or anything like that for head formation, pretty pleased with the look of that. It's nice and clear. I don't know if you can see that in the glass. Yeah, pretty pleased. Appearance wise, spot on. So, aroma, whew, absolutely smells fantastic. Get some nice kind of pineapple, mango, peachy type flavours coming through. And a sort of bit of citrusy, maybe grapefruit or something in the background as well. Smells phenomenal. Really, really nice. So let's dive in, see what it tastes like. Okay, that's really nice. It's delicious. It's quite flavourful actually. So obviously you've got the tropical, those stone fruits and pineapple and mango coming through as well. And there's a bit of sweetness from the Pilsner malt as well. So it feels quite well balanced. The bitterness for me is kind of spot on. It's not overly assertive, but it's just right. Makes you want to kind of go back for more. That is really nice. And considering that was the Cross Milo Kentucky yeast, which is essentially like a common yeast, it's pretty good. It's coming out really crisp, considering it's not a lager yeast as such, but quite happy with how that's turned out. I think if I did it again, maybe I'll try it with Nova Lager or a lager yeast if I could be bothered, but I'd probably go for a Nova Lager and see if that made any difference. But it's actually fairly crisp, and in terms of kind of ease of brewing, I think that Kentucky common yeast has done a really nice job. So overall, I would chalk that up as a great success. I'll definitely be brewing another New Zealand Pilsner. Might try a different hop next time, but yeah, it's really nice. It's a beautiful, light, easy drinking beer. Finished up about 5%, so mid-range kind of lagery type drink. Yeah, happy with that. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of this. It's Friday night. I'm going to put the TV on and enjoy myself. So cheers, guys.